In this episode, Lotus's new Emeya, the Acura ZDX, and Toyota's new Century SUV. Welcome to episode 266 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, what's new?
I've been spending some more time on iRacing, and before the MX-5 was feeling very unsettling under me, I'm starting to get the hang of the slippy, slidey MX-5.
It's fun once you get them sliding. They're a lot of fun to slide around.
I'm starting to feel comfortable sideways in that car.
That is a good thing. You're climbing, which is good right now. You're eventually gonna get to a plateau, and then you're gonna jump to a new car or a new series or a new track, and then you're gonna get crushed.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get a little demoralized, but then you'll eventually climb back up, and that's the way of this game. It's a series of like up and down and up and down and up and down.
Yeah, the MX-5. I'm in most of my races, most of my splits, I should say. I'm well in the top 3 usually in terms of timing.
Yeah, pace is no problem. Consistency.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I got a P2 the other night.
Okay, let's go.
Got a P2.
That's solid.
Yes, let's move on to a new Lotus. The new Lotus, I think I'm going to say this correctly, the Emeya?
No idea.
Lotus's new naming conventions, are they as bad as the printers? Are they a different kind of bad?
They're a different kind of bad. I don't think that they're as bad. I think at least it has a name, not just numbers and letters that don't make much sense.
But it's a name that no one can pronounce.
But it's not a barcode, okay? Because McLaren was essentially a barcode.
But it's a name you can't pronounce. You can pronounce the barcode.
You can struggle to pronounce names.
Yeah, so you can sit there and fumble. It's the Emeya.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the new Lotus Emeya electric vehicle. It is an electric sedan.
I saw that. Huh.
Again, remember when we talked about the Lotus Eletre?
Yes.
And it was Lotus's like foray into electric SUVs. And we both went, stop doing this, Lotus. This isn't what Lotuses have always been known as.
No, not usually. Not at all.
Simplify and add lightness. Or electrify and add heaviness.
Add weight. Add batteries.
Yeah, so Lotus is calling this a quote-unquote Hyper GT.
From this side view, it screams EQS to me.
Oh, I don't get
The
EQS
shape.
at all.
Well, just the outline of the curves, right? It's just aerodynamics is what I'm seeing.
It's something.
Yeah, that big sloping back, that is all aero, baby.
That's very EV, yes.
Yeah.
They're building this to compete with the Porsche Taycan, the Lucid Air, the Tesla Model S Plaid, that kind of stuff, right? They did give this thing a massive battery pack, 102 kilowatt hour.
102?
Yeah.
That is hefty.
Yeah, I have to go back to the fact that they're calling this a Hyper GT. What is that?
Oh, a Hyper GT?
Yes. Quote unquote, they call this a Hyper GT.
We've had GT cars and we've had hypercars, but they're not one and the same, and they're never really in the same category either.
Correct.
This is a sedan that is neither a GT car nor a hypercar, but I guess when marketing does what they want, they do what they want.
Yeah, it's something.
Okay, I don't know.
This Emeya is going to share a lot of its electric platform with the Eletre, which was that electric SUV thing we talked about.
Yeah.
So you're going to get, let's see, I think 2 versions of this Emeya. You're going to get like a base, and then you'll get like a high performance or whatever they want to call it. Apparently, base is going to be 603 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Which is pretty much what the same thing you get with the lower tier Eletras. But apparently the top version of the Emeya is going to be 905 horsepower and 727 torque.
925s.
905.
905. That's still a ton. That's a ton of horsepower.
And it'll be a 2-speed transmission like the Taycan.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Exciting. Yeah, it's going to be heavy. They don't have an actual claimed weight yet.
They won't for a while.
Which tells me it's going to be very heavy.
It's an EV. It's going to be very heavy.
Plus or minus how many over 5,000 pounds?
it will be 5.5. That's my guess.
Jeez. It is 4-seater. So, 2 doors, 4 seats.
The interior did look pretty nice, I will say.
It looks fine. I don't like the interior, actually.
Well, I just mean luxury-wise.
Well, sure.
Style is kind of irrelevant. With this kind of car, you're buying... Ah, man, why are you buying this car?
I don't know.
Because you're not buying it for the brand at this point. Right?
God, no.
An old Avora or something like that, sure, you're kind of buying it for the brand. But this is their foray into trying to EV, which I like that they're using the same, what you said, basically the same platform underneath as far as...
Pretty well, yeah.
I'm sure it's the skateboard, the battery, the wheels, the motors, all that kind of stuff is probably the same as the other EV they've made. Another quick note, the rear is starting to become a more prominent factor on all EVs as they get longer and have a bigger wedge in the middle of the rear. Can
Yeah,
you
like
see
a
what I'm talking
dovetail.
about? Yeah, they're all slowly elongating the dovetail, which makes sense for aerodynamics because you don't want it. If you were to go all the way out with it and have it come to a point, that would be the most efficient way to do it. Which,
but you can't do that if someone rear ends you. Then they just get stabbed to death.
yeah, you could put like foam and stuff in the back there, but like F1 cars, they have like a big foam brick in the front of them, so they don't stab each other. But if we went all the way out with that, it would turn into the what was that EV out of California that had the solar panels on top?
Aptera.
Yeah, the Aptera, which had that really long swooping and actually came to like a point. It would. I think we're gonna slowly move all EVs to that.
That's gonna be horrible.
As far as the rear goes, the front will be a little more probably Tesla-like, is my guess. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for all of this.
It's going well.
Yeah. It's going to have all sorts of active aero with like diffusers and things that come out. Now, they haven't given an official range yet, but estimating between 260 to 315 miles of range.
That's enough. I think that's okay. As long as you're over the 250 mark, it should be fine.
Side note, they are saying that this Emeya is going to be capable of DC fast charging up to 350 kilowatts.
350 kilowatt. Okay. So I know that the new target is the 800 kilowatt range. So it's half that. But I think Tesla's superchargers right now are only doing 300 to 400 at best. And that's like their V3 superchargers. So it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's like right on par with today's tech.
It's something. It's not a Lotus that I know.
No. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm a little baffled. Because why would you buy this?
I honestly can't think of an actual reason why.
I don't know either.
Because there's so many other better options.
Yeah, we're getting into the problem that I feared for all these high-end manufacturers, which is how do you differentiate yourself in this new EV world? And sure, looks, exterior, styling, performance numbers, yeah, you can do all that, which is, I guess, the only really approach that they have here. But as far as like the tech goes, they're not going to out-tech like Tesla or the big manufacturers. They're going to struggle with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
There is no official price listed, but expect well over $100,000.
What's your initial thought on price?
For base or top trim?
Middle.
Well, okay. Base trim, I think probably like 110. Top trim, probably like 175. Somewhere in there.
Do we know what the Electra was?
I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think you're probably right. I think we're looking at like 120 base and 200
ish
something. Yeah. Top of the line, which is ridiculous to think
for a Lotus.
For a Lotus that like
isn't really a Lotus.
No, and like a Model S Plaid just crushes this in every way possible.
Yes, every way, shape, and form.
It is like $80,000.
Mm-hmm. With the new tax breaks, yeah, you're under $100,000 for a new Plaid.
Yeah. So I don't. These manufacturers are they're really getting into a bad spot here. I don't know.
They're a bit screwed.
Seems to be.
Yeah. So let's move on to something else that is a bit electrified.
Okay.
It is the new Acura ZDX, or if you live in Britain or Canada, it's the ZDX.
The ZDX.
Yes.
What is this?
It is an electric SUV.
Ah,
So it's Acura's first real EV.
it is. I was about to ask.
Because if you think of Acura, there really hasn't been any EVs yet.
No.
So
Have there, what about hybrid stuff? I don't even think so.
I think they've left all their hybridness up to Honda.
Yeah, I don't think that they have done much hybrid.
Now, this new ZDX, it's going to be based on GM's Ultium battery platform.
Oh, boy.
I
Oh,
knew that would
God.
strike up some feelings.
That's rough. So Honda's buying the batteries from Chevy? Oh, goodness.
What does that tell you about Honda's development of EVs?
They are really far behind.
Like, ridiculously far behind.
That is bad, dude. Because they're never going to get the latest tech. They're never going to be able to innovate. They're just bound to whatever Chevy is doing.
If
And
you have to
Chevy-
go to Chevy for your
If
batteries,
Chevy wants to pull the plug, they'll damn well do it. Oof.
yeah. So that's the new ZDX already. It's off to a great start, isn't it?
No.
Apparently, you can get this in rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
Okay.
You get a couple different trims. You get an A-Spec trim and a Type S trim. The Type S is the hot version, the spicy version, the exciting version. The A-Spec is the kind of okay version.
This is an interesting one because this car is an SUV, and it's in theory just a mommy missile.
So why are we giving it a Type S?
That's what I'm wondering. Why give it? I would just focus on range for these kind of things.
But the funny thing is since you're getting a spicy version, that's not what's being focused on in the spicy one.
Do we know what the range is?
Estimated range are, let's see, do you want the A-Spec or the Type S?
Whatever.
EPA estimated range for the A-Spec, which is the base, or base-ish, 325. For
Oh,
the
okay.
Type S is 288.
Okay. So they're
It's
pretty solid
fine.
range numbers. They're up there in the EV space. Like that's pretty high.
Is it?
Yeah. Touching 300 is like, yeah, you're doing really, really good. 200 is like okay, you need to do a little more work. And 250 is about average right now. Okay.
So the Type S, you get dual motors, you get 500 horsepower and all-wheel drive, which is, in the world of EVs, not a lot.
It's not, but remember the demographic. Like, moms with 500 horsepower?
You can cut each other off in Chick-fil-A even faster.
Look, they're going from like a RAV4 that is like 200, right? To this that's an EV with 500 that will do 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds.
What are you trying to say about moms and their driving, that they can't handle 500 horsepower?
I'm not saying they can't handle it. I'm saying they're not used to it, and this will be a significant bump in power for them.
Yes, you're right. You're going to go from riding a bike with training wheels to a full-blown sport bike
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's far and away enough power for that vehicle.
Is a lot.
Yeah.
Is a lot.
Huh.
Now, apparently, in the low spec, the A spec, you're going to get an estimated 81 miles of range in 10 minutes while charging.
Okay. But, interesting. Okay.
I guess
So
that depends on how depleted your battery actually is.
yeah,
right?
the
Obviously.
more depleted it is, the faster it charges.
Yeah, now they're all getting a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack,
102. It's
which
big.
gives you a charging rate of 190 kilowatts using a DC fast charger, which is not
Ooh.
very fast.
No, that's not fast. No.
Again, we're going to GM for our batteries.
That's not good.
What are we expecting? What exactly did we expect was going to come when
boy.
you went to GM for your your battery advancements?
But if you think about it, like, put yourself in the boardroom at Honda, right? And you were 2 years ago, you're like, oh shit, we should probably actually do this EV thing, shouldn't we? How do we get the batteries? Okay, we take 10 years to figure out how to produce our own facility.
Yes.
We go to, and we don't have a car for the next 10 years, and we're like out of business by that point.
You think so?
Nah, not quite, but close. I mean, they'll be on the struggle bus. The Honda would be way down from where it's at now if they did that. Or you go to like Panasonic or Samsung and you like create a facility right next to your manufacturing plant and you have them build up a facility, which is kind of sort of what Tesla did for a little bit. Or you go buy it from someone. Now, who are your options? You could try from GM, that's one.
Ford.
Maybe Ford, right? That's another option at the moment.
What about Volkswagen?
I don't think Tesla sells batteries to anyone other than themselves, so I think they're out. Is VW actually producing their own batteries yet?
I don't know, actually.
I haven't heard that they are. So, like, I don't think they have many options.
I see your point, but I still just think you went to GM for your batteries.
I don't think it's good, but I think of all the options that they had on the table, like, that was the only one. That was it.
Oof.
Yeah.
Now, along with GM's EVs, you've heard of the GM Super Cruise. You've heard of that before?
Yep.
Which is GM's hand-free driving. Well, Acura is taking that and they're repackaging it with something called Acura Watch 360 Plus.
That's terrible.
Would you like the optional Acura Watch 360 Plus?
Oh, boy. They are struggling. Oh, man.
It's a home run, this car, isn't it?
Holy moly, Acura. I like how they had the race car in the background over there.
Yes.
The GTP race car. Nice.
Yes.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Super Cruise it is. Let's go.
Yep. So you get GM Super Cruise. Let's see. You are going to be costing around 60 grand for base and upwards of $70,000 for the Type S.
Tesla just eats everybody's lunch, dude.
This car is more attractive.
Yes.
But in terms of facts and figures, why?
In every other metric possible, in
Literally,
every other way
why?
possible, it's just worse. Like, it's just worse. And I'm not trying to be a Tesla fanboy here. They just have, like, figured it out faster than all the other manufacturers have.
They have.
Yeah. Oh.
So there you go. That's the new ZDX. You're going to go rush out to buy one?
I'll take my half GM, half Honda car and struggle with it.
I'm sure they'll get literally 12 orders.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's rough. 60 to 70 grand for that is not... It's not what the price needs to be. The price needs to be
like
$45,000.
a $45,000 car.
Yeah, the price needs to be... It needs to be competitive with the Model Y. It's a slightly bigger Model Y. And then worse in every other metric. Every other metric.
It's like, take a Model Y, make it look a little better, but take everything else, just make it worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a new ZDX.
Acura and Honda are about to be on the struggle bus for a bit.
They might be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to a car that you are going to fall in love with that we won't be able to buy.
Oh, I love these.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, Derek. This guy has Derek's name written all over it.
Tell me more.
This is the Toyota Century SUV.
What is that?
Have you ever heard of the Toyota Century before?
I have.
You have?
I think I have.
You haven't.
Why?
Because it's JDM only.
Maybe. Anyway, what is this?
That's what I said. So, before I go into what this is, let me give you the background on what the Toyota Century is.
I'm going to go find a picture.
So, the Toyota Century was a very stately sedan that was used for chauffeuring heads of state around.
So is this?
Yes, this was the Toyota Century. It was Toyota's Japan-only answer to the Rolls-Royce, to the Maybach, to the insert fancy car.
Okay, I did not know this. Toyota made a luxury sedan that competed with Rolls and Maybach at one point?
Yes.
Do they still make this?
Well, they're making it into an SUV.
Oh, boy. All right.
Just real quick, at one point, the Century sedan had a V12. It has since been downgraded to a V8, but
wow.
What a thing.
Okay. I have high hopes.
You should, because, baby, look at this. It's now an SUV. Like I said, this is made specifically for chauffeuring people around.
You know, if you just look at them side by side,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of resemblance there.
Uh-huh. Yep. So the Century SUV has moved into a plug-in hybrid with a 3.5-liter V6.
Okay.
But again, who cares about the powertrain of this car?
The shape, kind of funny looking.
Very.
On the side show.
It kind of looks like a Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Yeah.
It's a Toyota version of a Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
It's a more boxy Bentley Continental.
Bentayga.
Bentayga. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? You take a Cullinan and a Bentayga, you smush them together, and you have the Toyota Century SUV.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Ta-da!
you do. That's funny.
This thing is made for rear seat comfort.
Oh, perfect.
Now, to go into the rear seat comfort, they recline in many different ways. You get a rear infotainment center system, all that, with a specific driving mode that is meant to smooth braking jolts for the rear seat passengers.
Whoa.
So there's an actual mode of driving this car. Not sport mode, but smooth, comfy mode, where you press the button, and the backseat passengers don't feel a jolt when you come to a stop.
I'm very curious about the engineering as to how they did that, but
I don't know, gyroscopes and things.
yeah, I don't know. Or did they, like, even if you press the brakes hard, it doesn't do that lurch at the end? I don't know.
I have no clue. But with that said, I would love to sit in the back of this and have someone go full ABS.
Yeah.
I want to see what would happen.
But I wonder if there's like you put it into this mode and it's like, warning, the braking distances are longer. So if you do slam on the brakes, like,
You're going to hit something.
you're not stopping.
So you're going to get a lot of customization stuff with this. You'll get two-tone paint. You'll get all sorts of stuff. But the weirdest thing about this is, actually, if you go back one, this spec that we're looking at with these funky doors,
Yeah.
this is actually a GR badged model.
What?
Why are we making a GR version of this car? Why are we making a Gazoo racing version of a car that's meant to chauffeur comfortable people in the back seat? What is the point of that?
Bring it to the Nürburgring, baby.
What the hell? Why does this exist? Why are we doing a GR version of this car?
I don't know. Is there any other performance brand that they could have gone with for Toyota? There's no like up.
No.
S.
No. The game here is there shouldn't be anything performance to this at all. Period.
I agree. But clearly in the board meeting, they were like, we have to have a top tier model and a low tier model. What are we going to name the top tier model? Oh, what's that race team that we had over there that won Le Mans a couple times? Yeah, how about
the NASCAR Toyota Racing Development?
Oh yeah, how about that?
Yes, I mean they weigh about the same.
Yeah, probably. Stop about the same.
This gives you've got a point. They would stop probably very similarly. So this car weighs roughly 5,600 pounds.
Okay, it's hefty. It's very hefty.
Again, it just simply crushes things. It doesn't feel bumps. It just
doesn't
flattens
matter.
them.
It doesn't matter. Weight doesn't matter.
No. It's
That-
just goodbye.
Right. Suspension softness matters.
Yes. Now, this is a very exclusive car.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be making only 30 of them per month.
That's a weird metric.
It is. I read that and I was like, it's a lot, but it's not a lot.
You know, I've never heard us read an article or look at a news bulletin where they say they're going to make X number per month.
Yeah, I know.
It's always per year or just like in general capped.
But 30 per month. For how long? For indefinitely?
I think
Until the
Ferrari
end of
should-
time?
Ferrari should start doing that. We're going to make 10 LaFerraris per month.
We'll make 10 lug nuts for a LaFerrari per month.
That's a weird one.
Now, this will be not cheap. This will be starting for the equivalent, the U.S. equivalent of $170,000 for a Toyota.
But
if you compare it to a Bentayga or a Cullinan, it's the bargain of the century.
it actually is a good deal.
It is, and it'll be much more reliable than those.
In theory, yes. Do we know if these were reliable, the old Centuries?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't either, because there are probably not that many around there.
Never had a clue.
I like this.
I knew you would.
I'm a fan.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
It's a weird, obscure Japanese-only car, so I knew that you would eat this up.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. But also, it's like designed to do one thing. They went to the board meeting. They said, we're going to make a luxurious, big, comfy SUV thing. Sure, it's going to be expensive. Okay, put a race car badge on it. Don't understand that bit. But the rest of it is just they stuck to the plan. That was the plan, and they did it.
This is comfy.
It has a V6 hybrid, right? So it will like accelerate decently off the line if you actually cared about that. No one does.
Not in this
and
car.
It will like do normal hybrid stuff, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be a full EV. It doesn't need to have a V12 that spits fire everywhere. It's just like a perfect little SUV. That's
not little, but yes.
A
perfect big SUV.
It's no Hummer EV or something like that, but
nothing else is a Hummer EV other than a space station.
And a tank, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I like it. I think buy them up. They'll sell them all.
All 30 a month.
No problem. It's one a day. You sell one a day and you're golden. They're making one a day.
Oh, goodness. So yeah.
That's funny.
It's a new Toyota Century SUV.
That's awesome.
I knew you'd love it. I knew you'd love it.
That's the best car out of all the cars we've talked about today.
It actually is.
It totally is.
No, it actually is.
Yes.
So that's going to wrap us up then for episode 266. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment. Let us know which of the three, the Lotus, the Acura, or the Toyota, has been your favorite. I know our answers here. Leave that in the comments. And if you're if you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto, Instagram is We Are Auto _, YouTube is We Are Auto, and our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.